Hey guys, how's it going? John here today. Just gonna be doing a little tutorial on the primitive data types that are available in C++. So we're gonna be starting it out today here with just the basic integer type, denoted as int for int, short for integer. Essentially what it is, it's a 4-byte data type, and you can store a number from around negative 2 million to 2 million, and there's obviously some digits after that, but I'm not going to include it because it's not really important. Just a basic thing to know. Then we have the character, denoted as char, for char. It has a value from negative 128 to 127, and you use the single brackets here to denote it. One interesting thing, this is actually a code that stands for a different character key. So you could have a different letter like capital H or lowercase h. All this is a different value. Then we have the boolean, denoted as bool, and basically it's just true or false. It takes up 1 byte. So here I have it set to true. Then I have a float, which is a 4-byte data type, and it can hold a decimal. And then we have the double, which is essentially just a extended float. So that means it can carry a longer decimal place or bigger number in essence. That's 8 bytes. So it's in relative terms to data types, it's one of the bigger data types, which in the grand scheme of things, not too important, but still a little detail to note. And then when we have here, we have modifiers. Essentially what modifiers do is it just changes the byte size, and then in essence the number of like the extent to which that data type is effective. So short shortens it, long lengthens it. And one interesting thing, like in Java, you just say long, but for some reason in C++, typically you're going to use long to denote it. Just saying long won't actually do anything. And then we have signed, which generally everything is signed, so you can store a negative value. But if you want to convert to unsigned, you can actually gain whatever that range that you had on the negative side, it adds it to the positive side. So you can't store a negative value. And if you did, you're either going to get an error, it's just going to convert it to a positive. So down here, I just have some different outputs that I'm going to show. And one thing I want to note really quickly before I do that is just that all of this above, little specifics like byte size and the range may vary based on the compiler and the system that you're using. So if you're using a 32-bit system, which is relatively uncommon nowadays, might be a little different. But so typically this is going to be the 64-bit standard, which is pretty usual. So here we have just some output statements, and I say I have my variable apples, which is holding 4 apples. And then I say I have the letter, and then the letter I had here in my variable. And then I have this is true if Verity holds a true value for the boolean. And then I have otherwise this is false. And I'm going to be going in another video, I'm going to go through and talk about what these if-else means, what do the outputs mean, that sort of thing. Those are all different controls, like program control flow, things that we can use. And then I say I have this amount of dollars, and I have that amount of dollars. So I'm just going to go up here to the top right and run. After it builds, of course, so we have the output down here. We have 4 apples. I have the letter H. This is true because it was holding the true value as we mentioned earlier. I have $0.25 or 25 cents, and then $0.3 or 30 cents. And that's another thing you might be wondering, why is there not a 0.30? So sometimes it'll just shorten off these zeros because they're not essential. And there's a way that you can modify how many decimal places you want to display, so which is another thing we're going to talk about once we get into outputting. That's a more specified function that we have. So aside from that, guys, appreciate you sticking around. Next video will be up pretty shortly, and we'll go over some more detailed topics. So stick around, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.